everyone. Welcome today. My name is Joanne. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Central Alberta, Canada. And the name of my company is Lighthouse Greetings, and you can find me on Facebook. Today I thought Valentine's Day is a short time away, and I wanted to show you some really cute little treat boxes that you could make for Valentine's Day or Easter or any other occasion that you think you might have a need for a little treat box. So the first one I'm going to show you how to do is fits these little Hershey's candy, and it fits about 8 or 9 of those in the box. So I will give you the measurements, show you I've prepped everything, so this video shouldn't take too long, and wanted to feature some of the new papers that are available right now, and just show you what I've done. So the first little box that I'm going to make is this one here, and the paper that you will need is 4 3/4 inches by 8, and you score it at 1 right here. If you're not familiar with our trimming tool, the darker color blade is for cutting, and the lighter color gray blade is for scoring. So line it up either on this side is a 1-inch mark, and on this side, so you can put your paper either way if you only have to make a short score or cut. So the first measurement is at 1 inch. So you just put it in your trimmer, line it up with your lines that continue on down the grid, and make your 1-inch score line. Move it then to 3.5, score again. I won't do it because I've already scored this piece of paper to make the video a little faster. 4.5 is your next measurement, and 7 is the last one. Now, if you didn't want to move out the arm on your trimmer, which you can do, you can also, because this sheet is 8 inches, you can go to the 1-inch mark on that side over here. And then the other 2 measurements are 1 inch on each of the other remaining sides. So what I did was flipped my paper around, did the 1 inch on this side, 1 inch. So there's a 1 inch here, a 1 inch here. And that's basically the outline for your box. So I'll put that aside for a second. And get out your bone folder if you have one. If not, you can use a credit card or the back of your nail or whatever you have that you use. So we'll just score all of these lines. Or not score, burnish, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Last 2 score lines are right here. Okay, so there we have the frame of the box. And the next thing to do is make your cuts. So I'll grab my scissors, and it's easiest if you make them all in the same direction. So I'm going to cut there, 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 and there. Flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And just to make it fit when you close the box a little neater, you can take a little wedge off of each of the squares, and that'll make your box fit together a little easier. So I'm just removing a little tiny wedge off each of the squares right on around. Only takes a couple seconds to do that, and it just makes everything work a little nicer. Now, the next thing to do is you can put, I'm just going to put my silicone mat down, and I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus and put little bits of adhesive on each of those little squares. This is not a product I actually use a lot. I usually use my tear and tape or my liquid glue, but for the quickness of this video, I will use this product instead. So take your first square on the outside, line up your corner so that you have a straight box, and push it together. The same thing with the opposite corner. Same thing with this little corner, and as you can see, your box is already starting to form. And put your little tabs, your squares, inside so that you can't see them. And then this stays like this, and just do your last two, which is the lid of your box. Okay, so there's the basic outline of your little box. As you can see, it's not very hard to do. The next thing is to decorate it. I will put, so I have the Designer Series paper. Measurements are 2.5 wide by 2 1/4 high. And the smaller side pieces are 3/4 inch width, and they are 2 1/4 for 2 of them and 2.5 for the other 2. So I will use these 2.5 inch lengths, and this paper is from Playing in the Rain bundle, and it is the back end of the paper. So we will attach that to the sides of the box. If you go over and you're using this product, fold it back on itself so that it's not making the box sticky. And just, it should leave about 1/8 of an inch margin all around. Put that there. And I'm going to put this piece on the back. My 2 side pieces. If you want, you can make extra of these pieces of paper, and you can decorate the inside of your box around the edges as well. That's at your own discretion. I'm just going to do the outside for today. It's probably going to kids anyway, so I'm not too worried about being too fancy. I think they'll be more concerned with the treats than what the box looks like. Okay, I'm just going to leave that. And for my lid, I decided to take the Designer Series paper. On one of the sheets, there's these little bunnies on the Playing in the Rain paper. And I didn't purchase the die cuts yet, but you can cut out the little critters that are showing on this paper. And here's the little bunny. I just cut it out, fussy cut it. And so there's another option there, little turtles, this. And on another note, the paper pumpkin kit for this month actually coordinates with this paper pack and the dies and stamp set that come with it as well. As you can see, it's a really nice, pretty paper. So I cut this little guy out. This shape is from the diorama dies. I had a little vellum heart in my stash, so I stuck that down. This little embellishment is from an old paper pumpkin kit, and the little heart was remaining from some that I cut out. The High Valentine is from an old paper pumpkin, the stamps that come with an old paper pumpkin set as well, from either last year or the year before. So that was the stamp set that came with it. I don't have a whole lot of Valentine greetings, so I used the ones that came with the old paper pumpkin. So I will just attach this to the top, and that little box will be completed. So there you go, first little box. It fits about 9 of these little candy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some of them, depending on the way I've scored them, they will not fit 9, they'll only fit 8, and I think this might be the case in here. So we have 8, and these are little strawberry ones that I found. Now, if you choose to, you can put a little, if you have a little small round punch, you can use that, or a die cut to cut a finger tab here. What I'm going to do actually is put a little hole here with my punch. And I'm going to, after I'm finished filming, I'll weave a piece of ribbon through here and tie a knot in the back, tape it down flat, and you're good to go, and that'll be your little pull. I'll show you that on another box that I have done. So I made a couple of these already with existing products that I had. And I made this little one, and this is what I'm referring to for a little pull cord on the end. So it's just a little piece of ribbon that's folded in half, woven through the box, and I just taped it down and tied a knot in it so that it doesn't move. There you go. So we made that one. And this is a different one that I, basically what I've done, I'll just show you on this piece of cardstock, is I used a scalloped edge die, scallop this edge and this edge. Instead of cutting your paper this direction on all fours, these two here are cut this direction on each end. Okay, so remove 2 of those, cut them out completely, and then the other 2 will form your tabs on the inside, and you can just put 2 little holes in there with your punch, and you have a scalloped little top on your box. So that is, these little embellishments here are new. They come with the bundle, the Playing in the Rain bundle, and they're super cute too. So that's the 3 little boxes I've done for Valentine's using that pattern. And I will show you another option. So my next option is for, I bought these little hearts, chocolate covered hearts, and I wanted a little box that would fit 4 of those. So what I've done, the measurements for this box are 5 by 6.5. And you score again, so 5 by 6.5 on the short side. You score at 1/2 inch. Again, you can flip that in the opposite direction and use the 1/2 inch mark on this side of the blade, but it's a 1/2 inch, 2 1/4 inches, 2 3/4 inches, and 4 1/2. Right here. And then on each end, you score at the 1/2 inch top and bottom. Okay, now I took a tiny sliver off one side of this paper, I believe it was this one, to make it a little smaller so that it tucks in behind a little easier. I'll know when I fold it whether I actually did that or not. But you can take like a tiny sliver, 1/16 of an inch off, just line it up in your track and remove that piece. And it'll just make it easier when you're folding. So the next thing is to burnish all the sides. Okay, and then on each end, there we go. And then we'll make our cuts. So the first thing you want to do is, let me see if I can see where I maybe cut it. Hoping it's this side. Not sure. Anyway, or is it this one? Anyway, you cut up to your score line on all of these from the bottom. This will make a tall, skinny box. Again, I didn't cut into the make wedges with this one because the little tabs are so tiny, so I just left it. 3. And so on one of these sides, you need to remove those 2 little tabs. Doesn't really matter which side, whichever side you took the 1/16 of an inch off. That's the side that'll be smaller, and that one's going to tuck in underneath. So we'll just do that. And let's see if I actually took that off or not. And the way that you can check is fold this down flat, and if you'll see that it'll fold completely flat like that, so that when you put your tape there, your paper's not buckling. So the next thing to do, I'm going to put tear and tape on this one just to hold it a little firmer. And there's the beginning. And on your middle tab on the bottom and your middle tab on the top. Okay, so fold this flat, remove your backing. Just going to use my burnishing tool to make sure it's flat. There we go. And fold that over. Your little box is formed. And then this is your back, because this is where the little fold crease is. Fold mark, I guess. Put your bottom top pieces together. And you have the bottom of your box. If you want, you can stick a little tool down in here and push it down to make sure that it's fully adhered together. Now, the 2 pieces of DSP that I used for this are 1.5 by 5 1/4. So this is the 2 pieces that I'm using. It's from a paper package from last year. So it's no longer available, but I'm sure you have something that'll work. Anything with a light Valentine pink paper or red or whatever you want to use. Even flowers would work as a Valentine's, as you'll see in the next example. So we just put this on both sides. Try to get it as straight as you can. And on the back. And there we go. So I'm going to put my little hearts in there before I seal it. Maybe I'll gift these yummy things to me. Okay, and we just seal it shut. There we go. So there's the base, and we just need to decorate it. So because of time, I decided to, this is the heart punch that was available on clearance a few months ago. So I picked that up, and it's got an outside layer and the inside layer, and the hearts are stamped again from that old paper pumpkin kit, as are these little embellishments here. So almost have those used up now. So I'm just going to wrap this around the box and tie a bow. Bear with me. Maybe I'll do it up and down. No, I think it's going to go funny. So I just punched a little hole here with that same tool and paper punch and strung it through, and then this is put on with dimensionals so that the hole is not completely covered. Shorten your little ends. I left it on the roll, on the spool, so that I wasn't wasting too much. Okay. So there's that one. So there's a cute little treat bag or box, and I've done a couple of other ones, and those are what I've done with those. So the third one, these were all made for children. So I've kept the more cutesy paper and everything, but of course you could use it for adults too. And I'll put those aside for a minute and show you my third project. And the third one was a wrapping for this, and it's for my adult daughter. So I've used the Dainty Flowers that's free in the annual, or free in the Celebration catalog, and I cut the decoration out of that. So I'll just show you a little example of those dainty flowers. So when you order, is it 60 or 120? I think it's $60 worth of stuff in Canada. You will get a free Celebration item, and this is one of the things that's offered. So I'll just show you this paper because it's really very pretty. So purple dots and like a kind of herbal leaves. These are small pieces. As you can see, I've been using the paper. So this is one side. The other, that's pretty too. That was one thing I considered using, but I chose not to after. That's that same purple one. And this one, again, a selection of flowers on there. A soft pink looking one. these flowers. That. This is what I'm using today. I cut it down a little bit, so I will lose a little bit of available blank space on the lower part of that for two pieces, but oh well. And there's the green side, and I think that's all the selection. The purple again, maybe this one. Oh, and this navy pattern, and that's it. So just put that out of my way and get back to the little project. So if any of you were wondering how to make these boxes, you basically measure your item that you're putting in there. And so add a little bit of leeway for, you don't want it exactly the same size as your box. You want it to be a little bit of blank space there so it moves freely. But you measure this, that's your first measurement. Then you measure across the top, that's your second measurement. Again, adding a little bit extra so that you have some space for movement. Then you make that same measurement again. So at the beginning and at the end, you have this measurement. So it's do, 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 and the end piece is what you attach to the other end of your item. And then the measurement at the bottom would be the same as the thickness of your item. So that's how you get those measurements, and that's what I did. So I'll put that aside for a minute. And the measurements on this one, the paper is 8.5 by 8 5/8, and you score at 3/8, 4 1/8, 4.5, 8 1/4, and it's cut at 8 5/8. And then at the top and bottom, you have a 3/8 of an inch. So we'll burnish that. Maybe I was pretty gentle on the burnishing or on the scoring, because I didn't want to bend very easily. So that's the great thing about the Stampin' Up! Cardstock. It's a little thicker. And again, on this one, I took like 1/16 of an inch off. It made the paper a little rough. Maybe my blade isn't quite sharp enough, but you're not going to see it. It's going to be on the inside of the box, so I didn't worry about it. And again, you just cut off this and angle it. So I've already done that piece, and the other ones you just cut up. So it's basically the same thing as the other boxes, just slightly different measurements. Take a wedge out of that one because it didn't cut straight. Okay, now putting it together again, fold it over, use your tear and tape on the side, and the opposite side over here is what's going to bend in to make your closure. So we may as well do that while it's flat. Okay, so we'll close this up. I'm in camera view all the time. I don't have a second screen to check what I look like while I'm filming, so hopefully everybody can see me okay. we'll take our chocolate bar and put it in like this. And as you can see, it fits really well. Don't think I took quite enough off the side there, so it's a little bit not straight, but it'll work. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do, I chose this to be my front, so I'll put that on the front of the box. Let me see if my glue, my green glue is coming out okay. Okay, yeah. This is the top and the front, so get it as straight as you can. That's what I'm trying to do right now. And try to make the margins on either side of the box the same. So that's close. Here's the piece for the back. And the back will be just as pretty as the front. Okay, so there's my back piece and my front piece. And when I was getting ready for this last night, I chose to make this little thing. Again, it's the punch, the heart-shaped punch. So I have the scalloped, what's the name of that? Blackberry Bliss cardstock on the outside. And this little stamp here is from one that was free last year. It was called Hello. No, wait now. Yeah, I believe it's this one. Friendly Hello. And I just used this stamp here. And so you stamp, then you stamp off and, stamp the full strength color and then move it a tiny bit and stamp again, and you'll get like a double image there. And Sending You Love Again is from the Paper Pumpkin. So wove my ribbon through, tied it with another ribbon, and I'm going to just put this around the side of the box. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is put my tear and tape across the top to hold it in place. Let me see where I want this. About right there. Oh, come on, backing. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Oops. I'm going to start right here so it finishes in underneath this. So I've just strung that through there. So I'm just going to slide it along, fix it to the back, bring it to the front, and overlap it right here. Sorry if I keep moving out of view. I'm not sure if what I'm doing. with regards to keeping everything in frame. And I'll put another little bit of tear and tape here on the top, and hopefully that holds it in place. Burnish it really, really well. And I'm just going to trim that off. And hopefully there's enough detail there that it, if you don't see it, I'm just going to trim down this little piece here a little bit. Move that out of the way. And in addition, I'm going to put a few of these little butterflies on here. So one there, and a tiny one at the top. So that's my second project. I think I'll cut a little bit off of this too. It's not quite so long. So that's my 3 projects for today. So this is, yeah, it's staying in place. Hopefully nothing comes unglued. That would be bad. So here's my, again, it's Lighthouse Greetings. And I'm on Facebook. It's to visit my Stampin' Up site where you can order products. It's https and //lighthousegreetings.stampinup.net. Here are my projects for today. There. So hope you're having a lovely day. I will mention one other thing before I go. Someone inquired a couple of days ago regarding the cling mount stamps and was wondering how to put those together. So very quickly, I'm just going to show you that in case anyone else has the same problem. So when you get a cling mount stamp, I will move this out of the way now. When you get a cling mount stamp, they're red rubber. And they come in a case like this, and they are all in the packaging like this. So what you do is if you lift up this, you'll see a perforation on one side. It's not on both sides, it's just on one side. And that cut can peel the backing off of the picture that's on the stamp. So, and you're left with that. You also peel the backing off the foam. So this paper comes off. Now you can use the stamp like this. It will attach to the blocks, no problem like that. But it makes it difficult to see your image and where you're lining your image up. So I always like to put them together. And all you do to put them together is line up your image on the bottom. I just line it up along the edges. Just pat it down for a second. Pull, and you have your image on the back. So I also keep this paper, and when you're finished pulling all your things, one side doesn't stick to your stamp very well. So that keeps it from sticking to this. So that's just a personal thing that I do. If I have dies, you can get magnetic sheets of magnet, or I guess sticky sheets of magnet. And they're sold at Walmart, and they come in little sheets that fit almost perfectly. You usually have to cut a little piece off the edge, but I put those inside my case, and that's where I keep my dies. So just for example, let me see, I think I have dies in this one. So I keep my dies over here, and that's how I put everything together. So they don't always stay there perfectly because the case can bend, but it keeps everything together without elastic bands and whatnot. So that's how I store my stamps. So I will put this back into the case. And as a sneak peek, I will show you one card that I made with this set. And I think I really like the way it turned out. I was thinking, you know, the black swan in the ballet videos. So that's what was inspired me to make that card. So it's very simple. It's a sheet of vellum with a print on it, some black cardstock, white cardstock, stamped her on here. There's a little bit of Wing of Stella on her dress, and I used a gray blend here and some of our body color blends for her legs and her face and arms. This is our organdy black ribbon, and again, just stamp cut out. It's a pretty straightforward card. And oh, and the rectangle was cut using our dimpled rectangle dies, I believe they're called. Just one second, I will check that. Deckled rectangles dies is what I cut this with, and it gives it kind of a torn edge on the paper. So that's all I have for you today, and come back very soon. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at gmail.com. So lighthousegreetings@gmail.com, and I will help you if I can. And if you would like to purchase anything from the Stampin' Up! Store, I highly recommend this little Playing in the Rain suite. It's very cute. And have a good day.